Age, it seems, doesn't lie. Once celebrated as a symbol of Western air superiority, the F-16 Fighting Falcon is again at the center of controversy, this time as a potential casualty of Russia's long-range air defense network. Fast, agile, and combat-proven across decades of warfare, the F-16 was supposed to change the balance in Ukraine's skies. Yet new claims suggest that even this iconic fighter may not be immune to Soviet-era systems refined for modern war. So let's pull back the curtain. Could a fourth-generation fighter jet really be intercepted so easily? Is the F-16 already showing its age in a battlefield dominated by layered air defense, electronic warfare, and long-range radar? Or is this simply another chapter in the fog of information warfare? Let's investigate the details. According to multiple Russian media outlets, including statements attributed to frontline air defense units, a Ukrainian-operated US-made F-16 fighter jet was shot down in early January 2026 by a Russian S-300 surface-to-air missile system. While Ukraine has not confirmed the incident, the claim itself is significant, not just for what it says, but for what it implies about the evolving air war over Ukraine. A Russian commander, identified by the call sign Saver, described the engagement in unusually detailed terms. According to Russia account, the S-300 battery fired 2 missiles at the F-16. The first strike damaged the aircraft, disrupting its flight path and systems. The second missile, he claimed, delivered the fatal blow, destroying the jet in mid-air. What stands out is not just the claim of a shootdown, but the way it was framed. Sever referred to the F-16 as the most interesting target, suggesting that this was not a chance encounter, but the result of deliberate tracking, anticipation, and preparation. In his words, Ukrainian and Western rhetoric portraying the F-16 as nearly untouchable only reinforced the priority placed on hunting it down. Russian sources further state that the S-300 unit involved had undergone significant modernization in December 2024. Following upgrades and retraining, the battery reportedly became operational in March 2025, with a specific mission focus on high-value aerial assets, including NATO-supplied aircraft operating in contested airspace. If accurate, this timeline matters. It suggests that Russian air defense units have spent months preparing for the arrival of Western jets, adjusting radar profiles, engagement doctrines, and missile employment tactics specifically to counter platforms like the F-16. In other words, this would not have been a lucky shot. It would have been the outcome of systematic adaptation. However, critical details remain conspicuously absent. No precise location has been disclosed. No verified date beyond early January 2026 has been provided. And, perhaps most importantly, no publicly released wreckage footage or imagery has emerged to independently substantiate the claim. As of January 13, 2026, open-source intelligence communities and visual loss trackers such as Oryx have not updated their databases to include an F-16 loss linked to this incident. This lack of independent confirmation places the claim squarely in disputed territory, amplified heavily by Russian media, while Ukrainian officials remain silent. That silence, however, does not automatically invalidate the report. In modern conflicts, especially one as information-saturated as Ukraine, confirmation delays are common, particularly when losses carry strategic or symbolic weight. The first confirmed loss of a Western-supplied F-16 would be exactly that. To understand why this claim matters, we need to look at the systems involved. The S-300 is often dismissed in Western commentary as an aging relic of the Cold War. First introduced in the late 1970s, it was designed to counter NATO aircraft, cruise missiles, and ballistic threats. But what's frequently overlooked is how extensively the platform has been modernized. New radar arrays, improved signal processing, digital command integration, and upgraded interceptor missiles have allowed later S-300 variants to remain relevant well into the 21st century. Against an F-16, the engagement is not a simple contest of speed or maneuverability. Long-range air defense relies on detection, tracking, and engagement long before a fighter pilot ever sees the threat. If an F-16 operates within the engagement envelope of an S-300, especially one supported by integrated radar and electronic warfare, it enters a lethal zone where reaction time becomes razor-thin. This is where age truly comes into play. The F-16, even in upgraded variants, was never designed for stealth. Its radar cross-section, while reduced in later models, remains detectable by modernized air defense radars. In contested airspace like eastern Ukraine, where Russian systems operate in layers, the margin for error is unforgiving. The claim that 2 missiles were required, one to damage, one to destroy, also aligns with established air defense doctrine against maneuvering targets. A damaged jet becomes slower, less controllable, and far more vulnerable to follow-up interception. If true, this would indicate disciplined missile employment rather than desperation firing. Beyond the technical details, the strategic implications are far-reaching. Ukraine received F-16 not as a silver bullet, but as a tool to gradually contest Russian air superiority. Their value lies in air defense suppression, interception of drones and cruise missiles, and limited strike missions under protective umbrellas. Losing even one, especially early, would force a reassessment of how, where, and when these jets are deployed. For Russia, the messaging is clear. By publicizing the claim, Moscow signals that Western aircraft are not game changers, and that Russian air defense remains capable of denying airspace even against NATO-standard platforms. Whether or not this specific shootdown is confirmed, the narrative itself serves a deterrent function. For Western observers, the lesson is more uncomfortable. Air power alone does not dominate a battlefield saturated with long-range sensors, electronic warfare, and layered missile systems. The era where fourth-generation fighters operate freely over hostile territory is rapidly closing. So whether this F-16 was truly shot down or not, the warning is unmistakable. In Ukraine's skies, even legends are vulnerable. That's all for today. Thanks for watching.